My name is Andrew Camarata, and I am running a property maintenance business, using heavy equipment, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks. And early on in it, I started filming the projects as time lapses, and it grew a pretty big audience from the filming. One of my buddies described this building pretty funny one day. He's like, you do stuff that people talk about doing but don't actually do, but you actually do it. And I don't know, it was a funny compliment. I mean, this has always been one of my favorite toys too. I guess I must have been 3 or 4 years old to the point where I was able to sit right there, drive the thing around, and then use these loader controls. You could pick it up, it could get good scoops out of a pile of gravel, it could load the little Tonka trucks. It's probably 4 years old or so in that video. Those electric cars are neat. It's probably good to start early like that.
Can you tell us where the name Camarata comes from?
I think it's Italian. My grandparents are from Sicily and Germany. This rock here, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I used to have a tree fort. And I would use this come-along, and I used to put the come-along up in a tree and winch this rock up into the air all the time and then drop it on stuff. And I always thought that was so much fun. That rock probably weighs at least 300 or 400 pounds. And I remember being like a 7-year-old kid and having this rock like hanging 10 feet in the air. And my friends thinking I was crazy or something. But that was always so much fun. And then I would tie ropes around this rock and then put the come-along down on the lower end so I could ride the rock and winch myself up in the air. It was always so much fun. So when I was 13 or 14 years old, before I had my driver's license, I always had 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers, but you really weren't supposed to ride them on the road. I got one of these scooters, and I rode that thing everywhere. It was this red one here, and then a few of my friends bought them, and it was just, I had the most fun on those scooters because it was like having a vehicle that you could actually get places on before having a car. And that one I had put like that extra exhaust on it and stuff to make it faster.
Was that a kind of freedom which you reached?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice being able to get places.
Oh shit! Is that on video? Yeah, it's on video. Yeah, you're definitely stuck.
I was in the fire department for a while, and they were always looking for cars, to practice cutting them up for training. So I'm like, oh, I'll bring a car in. Let me simulate an accident first, though. So I take this. It was like a Toyota. And I take the thing, I flip it on its side and crash into the roof a bunch of times. And I put some mannequins in it, and then I brought it to the firehouse like that. And it was just so crumpled up. It was pretty funny. But then in 2007, scrap metal, the value of it went up quite a bit because of economics or the gas prices or something. And there was a lot of scrap metal around. So that was in my friend's backyard at his grandma's house, and she was happy to have that cleaned up. And that's how it ended up on the trailer. I didn't have an excavator or anything at the time. That would have made loading this up a lot easier. I used the winch here and then would put pulleys up in trees or pulleys and just pull things all different directions. And a lot of the stuff I'd go after, it was the hard stuff that a lot of guys wouldn't even attempt to bring like a rollback truck to. You'd go bring a load of scrap metal to the place, and sometimes they'd be handing you, a few $100, and like, oh, that was fun. Then I got a job at the post office. You know, my dad set me up with that because he worked there. I became a roll carrier, and I did that for 8 years, which probably worked out great because I had some income, but I wasn't using all my time at a job, so I was able to do other jobs. I remember one day, too, like my friend brought a sawmill over after Hurricane Irene and had all these trees fall over, and then I just kind of saw how I was able to take these logs and turn them into lumber. And I remember saying that day, like, you know, I want to quit the post office. I guess snow plowing I started. Like, I had the Jeep that I was using for off-road, but then I'm like, let me put a snow plow on this. Alright, so I've been out plowing. You know, I was out 14 hours yesterday. It's a bit much. I kind of have too many people. And now I'm out just taking care of a few random ones this morning, the next day. I like the winter. The water line to the house broke and it needed to be dug up and replaced. So my dad had hired these guys. They rented this Volvo excavator. The guy who rented it, he had no idea how to run the thing. And then I ended up running it. In the first 45 minutes, I was loving that machine. I was like, I gotta own this machine. Here's my Yanmar. This machine had actually been local for me. It was only right up the road, and I used to see it all the time sitting in this guy's yard. And then the one day I drove by and it had a for sale sign on it. I was like, I'm buying. I didn't even know what the price was. I just knew I was buying it. This machine has been absolutely great. The thing is almost never broken. I mean, only a handful of times have I ever had to repair it. So it's been super reliable, and I've just gotten tons of work done with it. I probably could have bought a truck like this clean for in the $7,000 range. You know, you're paying about that much either way. Like, for example, the air filter was missing. Dude, what about this air filter not being here? He's like, oh, I don't know. And then someone took a piece of cardboard, stuck it in the air filter spot, and just poked a bunch of holes in it like that was an air filter or something. And I showed that to the guy. He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe one of my employees did this. I'm like, what kind of operation you running? You know, I bought it anyway, even though it was a piece of junk and everything else in the guy's yard was a piece of junk. But this has been a very good truck. And I've even used it for like so many oddball things like this too. Like here's putting my electric in at my house where I use the thing to carry the spools and unwind the spools and move them around. And here's this bridge I built, and this truck carried, you know, all the gravel in there to build that road. I didn't have any plans at all when I started uploading to YouTube. I don't even know why I did it. I just started doing it.
Probably not all of your subscribers work in the maintenance business. Do you sometimes wonder what those who don't do for a living?
No. I mean, the videos are, if it's something they like watching, it's like when Bob Ross used to make those painting videos. You know, most of the people who watched him weren't painters.
Are you aware of your subscribers while working?
Well, I'm setting up the camera and stuff, so yeah, I know people are gonna watch it. I mean, there's no stage fright, at least. I guess if I was standing in front of a crowd of 1 million people, that would be a very different If there was 1,000 people standing right there looking at me,
you would become nervous on the
I
excavator.
probably wouldn't do well. People are finding me from the videos and the pitch, like, oh, I got a job, come film it, you know, this would be great for your channel. So it's...
They say that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Your first videos weren't without narration.
Yeah. Some of those scripted ones are a little... my script reading skills aren't the smoothest there. I can cover up to 500 feet with 1 9-ton load. It is important to plan your route first. Check for overhead obstacles like power lines. I mean, as far as changing the channel, I don't want to change the channel because I'm doing exactly what I want to do with it. All right, well, we're on my property here. I bought this property a little over 10 years ago. So I was 26 when I bought it, or 25. And in the last 10 years, I've done this with it. The idea was to build something that lasts for hopefully hundreds of years. Pretty cool. It's like driving a little house. The guy paid $500 for this thing because it wouldn't run. But that's all it apparently took right there. All right, what do we got? That's something. Oh, that does it. That does it. Check this idea out I got. Watch. This would be awesome. Piece of conduit. This is going to be the upgrade for these dashes. Cut a notch out of it. There. Look at this. I'll show you what we're doing. Look at that. Check, this is some professional work right there. Check that out. So right there, we got the frost. Then check it out, when we put it on vent, nothing. Anytime you can take some electronics out of a vehicle and make it manual, where that will last forever, and this broke for no reason, that's a big upgrade right there. All right, so now with that fog light in there, when I turn on the headlights, the light lights up. Now, the goal is to make that light go out. All right, let's unplug this thing. It just... Oh, look at that, the light went out. Awesome. I think that was it. So let's take this apart and see what actually happened to it. I'm not gonna reuse this, I just wanna see. why it's shorted out. All right, let's have some fun with this thing. All right, so this charger is capable of making 50 amps. All right, there's a short right there. So you can see this is pegging out, and we're getting smoke right there. There's our smoke and fire. Right there, there's our short. Even more amps. All right, now you see how that caught on fire when it had a direct short? That's the purpose of that fuse, is to protect that from happening. All right, one time I was driving this Jeep Cherokee, same exact thing happened to it. I'm at my friend's house, he had this MIG welder there. I welded it real quick, just kind of welded up all these cracks. Jump in the car, driving it. All of a sudden, the car starts filling up with smoke. The whole inside of the door catches on fire. And then this stupid thing, this was all burning. So I'm driving, I'm in a village, mind you, and I'm driving this car. So I open the door, I'm holding it open with my foot, driving down the street with the whole door panel on fire. And then I drove the thing to the car wash and put the quarters in the thing and used the car wash to put my burning door out. That works. Spending a lot of time doing this. We're so low. Yeah, it's shut. Very shut. Alright, that's how you gotta open it. But look how nice this tailgate works. Look at that. That's a nice tailgate. This thing feels higher, especially with the seat being higher too. Oh, that looks pretty level. I'm good with it. Yeah, that's a lot stiffer too. All right, cool, let's take it for a drive. Hang on, I want to see something first. Look at that thing, the thing's still like level. That's cool. For a while after I'd be at work, I'd just come home and probably try to fix at least one thing a night, you know, as far as push mowers or something, because it's so easy to get them. People throw them out all the time. I mean, even a lawn tractor like this, something little will happen to it and someone will just throw it out. So it's usually easy to get these free or cheap when they're broken. The other thing that's nice about fixing something that's really broken is that now I have like a really good understanding of how this thing works and how it's put together. So I feel like if there was ever future issues with it, you know, it'd be easy to fix. And, you know, anyone can just go buy a wave runner. It's kind of fun to bring one back from the garbage. Doing a project like that is certainly a nice feeling, to get something that was garbage that someone gave up on, and then to spend the time, get it operating again, and then start using it, and then store it properly and keep the thing in a running condition. See, this radio fits the truck. It screws right in here, it's the right size. This one can fit the truck. That's all right. I'll make it work. You know what? I hate working on dashboards. They're just made out of garbage plastic, so whenever I do it, I'm just kind of smashing everything apart and back together again. And I just feel that's just so much more fun. Alright, safety tip here. Whenever cutting or welding on a tank, always be careful what was in it because a little bit of fumes will make these tanks explode, like gasoline. Now this had home heating oil in it, which is like the same as diesel, which is fine, but just to test it, see if there was gas in there, that would have been bad, but that's fine. You know, I feel that's like an outside thing. I mean, I want it to burn, I just don't want it burning here. All right, that may have been more of an outside project. All right, so is this dangerous? All right, so this is like my first time driving it with actual weight in the thing. This was 18 tons of stone, double what my other truck had carried. It, you know, it drove fine like that. But you can see how light this is. Brakes work good in this thing now. It's like that one Simpsons meme where I think Ralph is sitting in the bus. Like, I can see. Am I in danger? I want to jump right into it. Let's test this. I'm usually generally hard on trucks. I may be spending, whatever that truck costs on a truck, and I may ruin the thing just to demonstrate to the world. I feel like it's going to be a public service. I mean, I know Whistle and Diesel's going to do his, he's probably going to get one and just break it in 5 minutes. Let me try to make mine last longer than 5 minutes. All right, let's get to work. solid rock the whole way. That's crazy. It's so cool to look at it. But look, I mean, look at it. It's just, that's what the ground is. It's an inch of dirt over it to deceive you.
Now here's a good one. What do you like more, digging or backfilling?
I guess backfilling. I don't know. I like whatever's going easy. But what I was able to do was I was able to dig right through there. So that's pretty cool. I kind of got like a tunnel here. So he was seeing how much fun I was having in that skid steer, so he went out and bought one, and I think he's going to take care of the cleanup here. And I think his plan with this lot is to get this cleaned up and eventually build here. One thing I could say I love about this type of work is a lot of these excavation projects are you've improved someone's piece of property. In a lot of cases, you improved it forever. I mean, some of the work you did, you know, with maintenance or whatever, like say you install a new driveway or house or clearing, or just do a landscape feature, that will be there forever, you know, hundreds of years and stuff. Doing work where, you know, like paperwork or office work or whatever, where it's irrelevant, it doesn't feel like you there's a great feeling of accomplishment with this type of work. This is probably like a camp for quarrying. So this is all, check out, all right, so check out these hand chisel marks here. In the 1800s, like chiseling out big square pieces of bluestone was a big industry in this area. So what people used to do is they go in areas like this. And these stones, you could see they have like these natural seams in them. And if you chisel them just right, you can get them out in big square pieces. You know, these long ones like this, that could be a nice mantle. And here's a bunch of stuff here all ready to go. Nice big flat pieces. The previous owner of the property was doing the mining techniques from 100+ years ago, where he was chiseling stuff out of the ground, gathering up the big sheets, and then selling it for patios and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen some people do great bluestone work too. Sometimes these Spanish guys will do these bluestone jobs for these rich people, and they lay the stones in a manner where there's no gaps between them whatsoever. It really looks beautiful. I should really do more bluestone stuff. I built that bluestone wall right behind my building too as like a retaining wall, and people always look at that like, wow, how long did that take? I'm like, that really didn't take that long.
10 seconds! Fire in the hole!
Look at my pile of rocks. I want to do something cool with these.
It seems like a lot of work to be done. A lot of people would be overwhelmed with that. Is there a philosophy behind that makes it easier for you to deal with tasks like that?
Just do it. That's probably my best answer, just do it. I mean, I guess that sometimes going into projects, you know, when you're the first 5% into something, sometimes it does feel a little overwhelming, but once the feelings change at different percentages through the project, and once you're getting closer to done, it's just a better feeling. I guess it always feels good to finish something. In my opinion, any work that you're doing should not go bad, you know, for from time.
I figure while I'm up here, I'll take the time. I'm sure I'm going to get some comments, people freaking out about us working on this roof. Look, this roof, there is really good traction on this thing. I mean, it's like, you know, I know it's way too high to fall, but we got great grip on this thing. So that's why we've been working up here the way we have. Plus, I put, like, that's there as a safety rope in case it started sliding. Should I test it? I think I should test it. I slide it off. This roof is fine. I feel fine being up here.
What?
Dude, I know I'm gonna dig up something here. I can feel it. I guarantee I'm gonna dig up something.
Well, that fabric is from this.
No, I found some deeper fabric, see?
Hopefully when you show up on a job, you know what you're about to do, so you shouldn't be thrown into that situation. But as you know, as you're doing work, you know, new ideas will happen, or problems could come up, unexpected stuff, and it's nice to have a line of communication with the person whose job it ultimately, you know, who's ultimately living with that work, to say like, hey, this, you know, I think we should go a little different route here with this work.
You got a sixth sense there, buddy.
I mean, that's the key to doing jobs like this, is make sure that the customer's happy, and kind of always expect to do a little more than you maybe anticipated, or just do the extra little bit to make sure everything is perfect.
All right.
Done that pretty good.
Thanks. Big rocks are right here. I had to pull them out. That was
Yeah, a little longer?
Yeah. Can you get it, or?
I can't go in the tank because I can't get back out.
Want me to go in? I'll go in.
That's up to you. Getting you? I don't know if it's getting you. Young man pulled himself right out of the hole. I can't do that.
So people sometimes ask me why I don't have any employees. Here's a good reason. One time I had someone working on this car for me, and he's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. We were changing the oil. And he drains this right here. And he's like, oh, your oil looks pretty red. I'm like, it looks pretty red, huh? You think that was engine oil, or you think that was maybe something else? And it's like he didn't understand what the problem was. That's why I do everything myself. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me try to get out of here.
Has anyone ever seen one of these that actually works? Every time you see a Land Rover, it looks like this. was a little worried about that one. That's good though, that's right where I wanted it. That's what the area is trees. You know, when people get upset about knocking trees over, I was like, dude, it's a million trees here. I mean, and they grow so fast. Just because you can't stand there and watch a tree grow, they're growing. All right, I just finished cleaning up this fire. Check out this gardener snake. All right, we put him safely somewhere. These are good snakes. They eat a lot of bad things. Got the water hooked up in the garage. And now I have water in my chicken coop. I am very excited about that, and I'm sure the chickens are too. Battery charger, chainsaw, chain, another chain. All right, dog. All right, let's go. Get it? Come on, you can get it, Ness. Levi. Come on, get in. You don't need me to help you climb up in this thing. Okay, see that? Oh, is there mice in it? There is mice. Look what we got. A free mouse. Well, hello. Can I pet you? No, you're shy. All right, so running that like that will make that overheat. Look how big that mouse is. Oh, he bailed. Cody, you see that mouse? And Cody, look at Cody's over there. Couldn't care less. Cody, where'd that mouse go? Is he in here? I don't think so. So really, this was the first loader I've ever got, and here is the last loader I just bought.
But if someone says you are still collecting toys, would you agree?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I bought that to do a job, but I like it, and I'm just gonna keep it around and just try to use it occasionally. I did be a mailman, so I don't need to be a mailman forever. I did it.